Okay, so now that you understand what De La Riva is, that we're building this fort with our frames. Again, Fortnite reference. You're going to hear that the whole DVD and probably every guard DVD I do, you'll hear me making this fort frame references. And that is why, and it's just such a perfect way of thinking of it, you know. Now, what we're going to get into is World 1 of the De La Riva system. Remember previously I stated that there's two worlds. World 1 is when your shoulders are forward. World 2 is when they're postured or deadlifted, correct? So in World 1, there's only two bases our opponent can give us. And let me explain these bases. So, bases, please. When I'm in De La Riva here, World 1, World 1 is when my shoulders are forward. I told her to grab my collar because if she can't grab my collar, that means I'm in World 2, right? So World 1, my shoulders are forward. And the two bases that I could give her here, my forts on top are going to be this. My two bases are going to be Toreando grips, where both of my hands are going to be controlling her legs. This enables me to lift up her legs, throw them. This enables me to lift, leg drag. It enables me to do what? It enables me to place myself around her body. Going inside her body, I could kind of do, but for me to end up in a pass, I need some upper body control. So whenever I have Toreando grips, it makes me able to go around the outsides of her body. So Toreando grips, I'm able to go around her. I'm able to go around her. The Toreando grips also enable me, grab again, but the Toreando grips also enable me to push out her De La Riva hook, to push down her ankle, you see. This is what enables me to get to all these attacks. Now, anytime I have a collar grip, the collar grip, I'm able to step over my opponent's legs. I'm able to go around her also, but it's more I have control of her upper body in some sorts. This collar grip, my base is on my hand. I'm able to base in this way on my hand. This is why the base is a little different, you see. So each of these grips has their pro and con. I can even pull her up like this. I can put weight here. I can do many options using my elbow here to go to this spot, to come back to here, to go knee cut. I have many options with both alternative grips, but we need to address each individually because the bases, the balance of our opponent are altered in each grip, each family. I'm going to call this families because in world, we can call it worlds, and then in this world, there's two families, right? One of the forts, again, Toreando grips. The pro of this grip is that my hand could take out the De La Riva hook because I have a Toreando grip, right? The pro of the collar grip, my balance is here, and I'm able to step over the legs and put pressure on her, grabbing her collar, you see? So this is the pro of this one. This is the pro of this one. And each of these forts that my opponent gives us has their weaknesses in them. And that's what we're going to expose. And we're going to expose that by finding the weaknesses, addressing them, and then while our fort remains intact, exposing them. Okay? The most important thing I need you guys to understand before we get into attacks, before I get into showing you how to affect the person's fort, is the person's balance. That is the most important part in breaking the person's fort, right? Because for someone to have a strong fort, they need to have their perfect balance. They need to be balanced in a way that they're strong. Because a base of somebody standing is all in their way that they're standing, which weight their leg is in, which weight their arm is in. So in De La Riva, when we're playing it on bottom, my whole goal is to expose their balance. It's to alter their balance in a way that disrupts their fort. Once their balance is broken, their fort is broken. All their frames that they have on my body are disrupted. They're broken. And that is what we're going to be doing in this series. Now, what is balance in De La Riva? Balance in Jiu-Jitsu, or in general, is when my base is one leg and one arm. Look how I can balance right now. Look how I can balance right now. But I'm going to do something. I'm going to put my balance on one arm and one leg. I can't stay standing if my weight is on one arm and one leg. I can only stay standing every time I have weight on one arm, the cross arm, and the cross leg. I have weight on the cross arm and cross leg. If my weight's on one side, I can't stay standing. If my weight's on one side, I can't stay standing. And that is what we're disrupting when we play De La Riva. We're disrupting the person's balance, the person's base. This is so important because every time I get the De La Riva, in this realm of De La Riva, in all realms of De La Riva, there's two worlds of balance. I keep saying worlds in groups, but I told you in the beginning, I group everything into two worlds, and it always can be grouped into two worlds. The balance of the opponents in De La Riva is going to be the weight on the front leg and the weight on the back leg. This is the most important, crucial part of this series, because once we know where our opponent's weight is, that's how we're going to know which attacks to do, how to disrupt their base and balance. And it's going to be a matter of us altering the weight of their arms if their weight's forward, altering the weight of their legs if their legs are forward. You see? So if their weight's on the front leg or the back leg, or if they're deadlifting, where both their weights on their toes, where they evenly they could fall back. You see? So lay down, please. So look, now I'm going to show you an application what I mean. So just get the even the collar. If my weight's on the forward leg and arm, just sweep me. I have zero base. Look how I completely collapse. But now look, I'm going to put my weight on the forward leg and this arm. Now sweep me. Like, tilt me, go. It's because I have balance. Because my weight's on this arm and my weight's on this leg. You see? Now, I'm going to do the same thing with the back leg. It's painful, but I want you guys to see how my balance is. I'm going to put my weight on my back leg and my arm like this. Sweep me. Just tilt me that way. I have zero balance. You see? So now tilt me this way. Look how my base is. Because this arm and this leg are activated. You see? So every time I'm in De La Riva, the person on top that you're drilling with, in general, when you're playing top, always your weight's going to be whichever leg it's on, your other arm on the back is going to be used. Whichever leg is being used, your arm across your body. So this, always. Because the second I'm angled on one side, I fall. So this concept is probably the most important thing when you're attempting to sweep the person or to break the person's fort. And how are we going to use this? We're going to, every time the person grabs us, we're going to use their grips against us. We don't have to break their grips. We have to manipulate their grips in a way that when they stay on our body, when they control our body, it transfers their weight from this arm to this arm. Now I get swept. It transfers my weight from this arm to this arm. Now I get swept. And what did I just do? I posted my hand. Posting my hands is going to be, posting your opponent's hand on top is going to be a crucial part of De La Riva. And you're going to see how this posting will help us utilize attacks such as taking the back, such as sweeping, such as submissions. You see, every time my hand touches the floor, it's like close guard. I always make the close guard reference, but it's so true. Every time our hand touches the floor, they say in kids' class in Jiu-Jitsu, your hand's on fire, you're on lava, right? Because Chika Kimura me, you see. So this is so true. The same exact thing in De La Riva. Every time our balance goes to the mat, a submission is exposed possibly, okay? But this part of the video, you really need to understand how we're going to destroy, how we're going to disrupt, how we're going to break down their fort. And it's going to be a matter of balance. We're going to alter their balance. We're going to, in both worlds of the collar and leg family, and the Toriano grip family, how we're going to disrupt their balance from wherever their base is. If it's on the back leg, we're going to make their weight on this arm. And then when they defend this and come back, my weight goes back to here and I fall. And the collar grip world, when wherever my weight's on the forward leg, she makes my weight all the way here and I fall, you see? And when I start falling, you see I keep posting my hand. This is where you're going to see more and more. You're going to see how we're going to alter their base. Our major objective is breaking their fort, and we're going to do it with balance. All of the things I'm going to show you how to manipulate their connection to our body is going to disrupt their fort. It's going to disrupt their frames on us, because what are these? What is my grip here? It's a frame. What is the grip I have here? It's a frame. It's identical to the frame she has on me. I'm playing guard on her when I'm playing top. I hope you guys can start seeing that this is I hope you guys can start seeing how I'm playing guard on top. She's holding my collar and ankle. I'm holding her collar and ankle, and I'm making my frames. So when she starts pushing me, I can get over her frame. You see? And she's doing the same thing. She makes her frames. When I start pushing her, she can sweep me. You see? So my frames, the difference between my frames on top and bottom is a matter of balance. The second she alters my balance, my frames are disrupted on top. Meaning my fort is crushed. My fort is destroyed. Because I can't keep my balance to keep my frames on her body. So the way I'm making my frames on her is connecting myself to her body. My goal on bottom is to use her connection against her, to alter her, to use the connection of her grips on my body to alter her connection to make her balance offset. And once we offset her balance, we're able to utilize our attacks. So again, if my weight ever goes same side as my leg and arm, I fall. If my weight goes same side and arm, I fall. If I'm holding the collar and my weight's on my back leg and my weight's on this arm, now tilt me. No, like try to move me, like tilt me that way. If my weight's on this arm and this leg, if my weight's on this leg and this arm, tilt me. I have balance. I have balance. I have balance, you see? I have balance with both. So what is that? What else does that lead us to? That leads us to this. Whenever I have grips on her and my weight's on my back leg, what does that mean? That means I'm able to take out her De La Riva. When my weight's on the front leg, what does that mean? That means I'm able to push down her back leg. You see? Because how can I push down her back leg if my weight's on my back leg? Move me. How can I push down her De La Riva hook if my weight's on the front leg? So now you're going to start realizing that when you feel the person pushing down one of your legs, that's going to be sensing. That's going to trigger in your mind, okay, this is where their weight is. This is where their weight is. And if it isn't, they're just going to collapse the second they do it, right? So if I'm pushing down her De La Riva, you see, try to sweep me that way. Why can't she sweep me that way? Because my weight's not on my front leg. Now sweep me that way. Sweep me, bring me that way. Bring me that way. Like, tilt me that way. You see, because I have balance.
Well, it's also like reserving energy as well, right?
Well, the second I make my base wrong, I'm gonna fall. But
no, I mean on bottom. If we recognize like why you're.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you think that the weight's on the front leg and you try to sweep me this way, and I'm on my weight here, how can you? But this would make you use so much strength and energy because you wouldn't know this. You see, and that is what we're avoiding here. We never want to force any spots. We want to make it that we never have to use any energy. We want to be using the least energy as possible when we're doing these positions, right? But this is where you're going to notice. So if the person drilling this, I want you to go on top. And also your drilling partner to also drill this. All I want you to do is this. My weight's on the forward leg. I'm going to put my weight forward. I'm going to push down the back leg. What did I just do? I eliminate her frame, right? I eliminate one frame because that's my objective on top. Now I'm going to be back leg. I'm going to eliminate her De La Riva hook. I eliminated the other frame. You see? So the drill is this. My weight's on the forward leg. 1, 2, 1, 2. And now I'm going to put my weight, killing the hook. I'm going to put my weight on the wrong leg. Sweep me. I want you to feel what you feel instantly when you do that. You see how you fall instantly. Again, the other side now. I push down this leg, but my weight's on the back leg. So, tilt me. I have to fall. You see? This is a matter of just understanding how the body works and how the person can base. Because you understand this now, it's going to make the application of any attack we want to do in De La Riva so much easier. And again, like I always say when we're playing anything, in the other series I said this as well, always observation. Always paying attention to what they're giving us so we never have to force. If we observe and we follow the exact rules, we will never have to overuse our energy. We will never have to overexert ourselves because we're doing exactly what is correct at that moment. We don't know what we're going to do. If you ask me, what are you going to do? Whatever the person gives us, that is what we're going to do because it's as simple as that. We already could evaluate what we're going to do because, again, she gets De La Riva on me. Wait. What just happened? We just know, what world do we know we're in right now? World 1, right? Because my shoulders are forward, right? Now, what else are we going to do? Now we're also in the first family, right? Or the second family. We're in the families of grips. We already know we're in collar and ankle in De La Riva, right? So already we're building on our chart in our mind of the list of what's happening. We already know world 1, family 1. And that is how we're going to know every attack that we do, you see. That is why I'm building up how I am. Because I want you guys to just go off of a chart in your mind. And it's as simple as that. You know, I don't want you to be in this spot and like forcing a sweep. Because that's not the right thing to do. That's not how we do jiu-jitsu. You don't want to do jiu-jitsu where you exert yourself. You want to do jiu-jitsu where you're using no energy, no strength. And I feel like this is the most efficient way that we can do this, you know. Again, I'm here. If I start taking out her De La Riva, that means my weight's on the back leg. If I start taking out this leg, my weight's on the front leg. It has to be. If it isn't on the front leg, if it isn't on the back leg, do you see how simple this is? This is the first step in mastering De La Riva, understanding the balance of the opponent once we establish our frames. I need you guys to master your frames. Then I need you to understand the balance and frames of my opponent, their forts. We see how the forts of these two families are flawed because of balance. And we're going to show you now when they control us, when they keep their frames on our bodies, how we alter their balance, destroying their forts. That is what is beautiful about De La Riva. That is what I enjoy about this position and all positions, but De La Riva particularly because of how these forts that the person can play on me, how I'm able to disrupt them makes it so much fun and it makes it like a puzzle, right? But it's so specific, just these forts. This one, look at it. It's just this one and this one, you see, in the world 1, right? And that is why it's so simple because we could group it like we are, you know, and that's what we're going to get into now. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to finally get into attacks and our positions from there.